weeks before D-Day, like especially dangerous, or was it actually it was safer to be here?
No, not safer, not dangerous, because we know that the 6th of June is the D-Day. But until the 6th of June in the morning,
Right.
nobody knew that
Right.
it was the D-Day.
Okay.
They knew it was close. They knew the pressure was coming. They were feeling that, but not especially the.
What about right after?
After, it's different. After the D-Day,
yeah,
it's different because of the repression. For a very simple thing. To understand that, you have not to forget just the France and to have a view concerning Europe. The 4th of June is the falls of Roma in Italy. That means that in the Italian front, the German army is going down. From the middle of May 1944, it's the big attack of the Soviet Union in the East Front.
Yeah.
So the German army is falling down. And on the 6th of June, this is the D-Day in Normandy. That means that the German headquarters in Berlin said to the West German headquarters in Paris, you have to counterattack this landing with just what you have in France.
Right, so you have, Berlin is here in Germany, and you have the Soviets coming in from this side,
yeah.
and
And
the
in
Allied
Italy
forces
also
coming up this way.
That means there is a third attack,
right.
but we do not have one soldier to give you
right.
against this attack. So you have to organize that.
Right.
That means that here, in France, in Paris, they gave a look and they said, okay, so we need to take some military units from these places to Normandy. That means that we will free, even temporary, some areas. We need these areas not to revolt. So before freeing these areas, we punch.
Okay.
And that's the history of Oradour-sur-Glane, which is a small village close to Limoges, who has been entirely destroyed. And it was the 10th of June 1944. That means 4 days after the D-Day.
So as they were pulling out, they were destroying everything as they were leaving.
After the D-Day.
Right.
And so on and so on. Because it's...
Were the groups here, the resistance groups here, were they actively trying to rescue Allied people from the Germans?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they were paid, and some groups, especially the Artillery group, they are organized, they are paid, they are structured for that. It's their job. They just have to do that and just.
So if they heard, there's 3 guys being held in this house, they'd get them out of there.
Yeah. And especially.
Where did Morhange get most of their orders from? Was it from Algiers or was it from London with de Gaulle?
At this time from Algiers, but because from Algiers it's de Gaulle. De Gaulle started in London, but London is not a French land.
Right.
As soon as Algeria is free, even by the Americans and the British Army, of course, but it's France. So as soon as he can, de Gaulle installs all the free French administration in Algiers.
Okay.
Because it's France. So I'm the chief of Free France, and I'm operating from France, from part of France.
Okay.
I learned very soon concerning Taillandier that we had to say concerning him, his life, any part of his life, officially.
Because he was
right.
a shady character.
Right.
Yeah.
He did a lot of business, huh?
Yeah. And he also earned a lot of money with traffic concerning alcohol and tobacco and
During the war.
during the war.
So he kind of was running all kinds of things.
He was running through the Frascati.
I remember
makes total sense.
Nodi, Nodi told me that he was in the Frascati bar. He was selling the American cigarettes that the pilots had with them.
Yeah.
He was taking their cigarettes and selling their cigarettes
Back to them.
back to the not
To the Germans.
The Germans.
to anyone, including Germans, from the bar at the Frascati. It was making money like that.
Huh.
Where is the line?
Yeah.
Well, you know, he has to gain the trust of the Germans as much as he
Yeah.
can, so that he can do what he wants to do.
If he wouldn't have such a personality, he couldn't have been able to do the smallest part of
Right.
impossible. Because you're in the very center of Toulouse, and everybody knows this part, also the activity of the Frascati. And if you're a member of the resistance, or if you are someone important that you have to meet very quietly, someone, you can go there in this kind of rooms. Nobody will mention if you go in these rooms, because everybody knows what's going on there,
But then
Yeah.
the meeting can happen.
you can have connections like also like that. Also, Frascati is these guys are not saints.
Right.
Or what?
They're not
Saints.
Saints.
Oh.
So
They're getting in on the action too.
yeah, they also need a place. They are all of them are borderlines,
Right.
all of them.
Yeah.
And Frascati is not just a place where there is a fight between resistance and collaboration. It's also the place where all the rebels and the stallers, the stolen people are going to all the criminals, all the
It's very mafia.
yeah, it's a bit of mafia.
Yeah.
It's a lot of mafia. And sometimes when the Morange group, when Tayangier needs for example, to recover some documents or some, he knows that at the Frascati he can ask to someone, I need you to go there, and there is a box, a strong box there, and I need what there's inside this strong box. And if you want to be paid, you have the room just there. And it works.
Yeah.
It works like that.
Did they blackmail people with the pictures they took?
They can.
Yeah.
Yeah. They can because they're also in the Gestapo, and most of them are in collaboration groups. Come with me. Come at my cafe. You will have all that you need. And then I have pictures of you. You help me. Oh, everybody knows. Before, some people. This group is very funny because before the war, some of them were really before in jail for anything else, and after the war also, the guy who was making false papers for them continued after the war to make false papers.
And it works so well.
This is for everything that is fragile because
So if they
There is a
drop,
protection,
if they
yeah.
drop,
inside
whatever.
everything concerning the health, because if you have a cold
Medical.
in the Maki, it's not a problem, but if you have a bullet in the home,
Right.
it's a bit more difficult, so sometimes you have to. The radio systems also go inside because they need to protect. And so most of the time, as you know well, the paratrooping is done by night, but one day, one very special day, we just have one picture, not for the area, but everywhere in France, we have dropped the equipment by day. And it was the 14th of July, 1944. And that's what shows this picture. You see that all the parachutes are not white. In fact, they have dropped in blue, white, red. That's why we show that as a remembrance. Yeah. In full day, very full day. We have stuff like this in different parts have been dropped in France during the war. More than 2 million.
Are those weapons French or what?
Britain, English.
English.
These are two weapons used by this group. This is the Britannic one. It's 10.
It's steel.
It's also, it's really a story of you have to invent anytime. And you have to trust people you have never seen before.
That's true.
You have to confide your life to people that you have never seen before, never heard before. sometimes the choice is the good one, sometimes not.
It happened that my cousin, Pierre Dupin, after a certain time, got into a resistance network, which is called POSTUS, through Pierre Aurillac and through Robert Néel, Dr. Robert Néel. And of course, Pierre proposed my mother, and my mother got into it. My father was not exactly, he was not, my mother got chief of sector for the north of Medoc in the network. But my father was helping her. He was, let's say, a kind of an assistant. But anyhow, he was very involved, but not as much as my mother. Well, this is what I want to quote. She was a boss, anyhow. Let's speak like that. There are two purposes. One purpose was to get information about the defenses that were along the coast of the Gironde River, because as you know, Bordeaux was a big place for submarines. So it was very important for a future to know what were the defenses of. Okay. So that's what first. That second, of course, it was to pick up, gather the different airmen from the Allied forces in order to bring them back to freedom, back to fight. Let's understand it like that. Whether there would be English or American, with the network towards Spain. And then you had to train the people.
Train them in what way?
Train to be deaf and dumb.
Deaf and dumb.
Deaf and dumb, of course. And you had to find the clothes too.
Yes.
And then you had to have the papers, of course.
Of course.
The papers, thank God that was arranged.
So you received a call about 2 weeks ago from an American.
From somebody who was speaking French.
Yes.
Who was trying to speak French, who had difficulties in French.
Yes.
And to start with, I thought this was the kind of person who wanting to sell me something.
Yes.
So I nearly pulled him out.
Because
he's got, hello, I'm here to help you, insurance, blah, blah, blah. Then when he said 3 words, American, war, aircraft, both. And I heard that person had difficulties to speak. So I go, wait a minute, I'm going to try to see. And then I started. I have not been speaking English for a long time, but it came back with a terrible accent, never mind.
For me, the part of the phone call that really just struck a chord was you explaining to me about your mother teaching these Americans to be deaf and dumb.
Yeah. That's why that night we talk about deaf and dumb.
And then I brought a story up to you about my grandfather trying to be deaf and dumb. So tell us your side of that story from what you heard.
You had trained, of course, to do this, and the person was going like that, because if you are deaf, you are deaf. Huh? And they dropped, as far as I know, fork and knife, a full set of bang. And the 2 people, there were 2 or 3, they went just by this. See, when the 3 were meant to be deaf and dumb.
So did it give you the chills? Did it give you the chills like it gave me the chills that you were told that story, and I'm now telling you the same story 68 something years later?
Absolutely. That's why it's absolutely remarkable. It's something that nobody can invent. You want me to tell this story? The maid came to the door. My parents, it was early in the morning. My father was getting ready, they had breakfast. My father was getting ready to go for his tour of the farms. And my mother was going to open the pharmacy. And my maman heard that, the maid was over there, maman heard something, she went over there. My father heard, he ran away, and he went at the back of the house where there was a pigsty, and he hid himself there. He had no idea to just cross over and go away. Maman was so arrested, they looked for the house and found my father in the pigsty hidden. Okay. So both of them were arrested. At that time, I was upstairs in the bedroom with my grandmother, my elder brother, my older
Either way.
brother, my elder sister, and myself, of course. I was 7 months, and Mama said, you know, before I am arrested, okay, a French woman is always clean. I am not dressed, whatever. So I want to clean myself. Okay. So he said yes, but you will have a guard with you. And one of the guys, my brother said that he was young, about 19 to 20, no more, and he was arrogant. Okay, and he had a gun. He had a gun. And while the others were my father downstairs, and my mother. There was a bedroom. There was a kind of wide wall that you saw yesterday, okay?
Mhm.
And the big bedroom that you saw yesterday. In fact, there was one washroom, and after the bedroom there was one. And my mother washed herself. Behind that, my grandmother, the other side, they had the papers with the track for the resistance and the identity for spare papers in the chest of drawers, just by the side of the door, and in the bedroom. And there was the
Fireplace.
The
The stove, the fireplace?
fireplace, still fireplace, because at that time there was no central heating, just by the side. And the guy was sitting just between the bedroom and the washroom, and she was there, and she started to burn the papers just 2 meters from here, right? As she had no immense time, it was said to me that she put some in my couche. Comment you say the couche?
In your diaper.
Voilà.
Yeah.
Okay, voilà. That's why I said on my paper, which is absolutely incredible, that day I might have been the youngest resistant in France, not knowing it, which is absolutely ridiculous, but why not? Okay. You are, honestly, as I told you, my mother told me that she had 2 letters after the war. One person came, one airman came 3 or 4 years after, and she has never heard anything. And I was always wondering, where are they? They must be somewhere.
Last question for you.
Yeah.
You received a phone call from America,
Yeah.
from some Americans, and you've discovered now that your family was a pivotal point in saving that man's life, and now we are here to thank you.
Well, I'm here to thank you too.
What?
A proof. You will see my she has been cooking. Eh?
Wow. Okay. Does it make you happy? How does it make you feel?
I am personally extremely happy, but I don't exist. Okay.
You should be proud of your family.
Maman exists. Your father exists. Our relationship exists. Our history exists. I don't